Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran, and today I actually want to take the time to discuss a series that has been near and dear to my heart ever since I owned the second game all the way back on the 360. That's right, we're going to be talking about Fable on the channel today, which, if you've watched my previous live streams, especially the Xbox 2019 E3 conference one, you'll know how energetic I am for the Fable games, and I would probably say I'm just as passionate about it as I am with something like Fallout. Man, my heart is sinking here, man. I'm waiting for Fable 4, it's not happening. So what led me to making this video is the hype and rumours surrounding the potential Fable 4, which is definitely happening, by the way. Just want to make that clear right now. So the rumours were that Playground Games is developing the new title and have signed on old RPG developers that worked on games like KOTOR and stuff like that to help make it. There are big leaks that have surrounded the game about story and the settings and all that, but I kinda tend to avoid that sort of leak because I feel like they just spoil the fun of a reveal, you know, just a wee tiny bit. And also the majority of them could be complete bullshit as well, so there's not really any point paying attention to it unless you're a news channel, which a lot of the news channels like to dive into these leaks, but I'm not one of them, so, you know, don't worry, you won't get any story leaks or anything like that here. Leading up to Xbox's 2019 conference, I got myself insanely hyped due to these leaks, only to be utterly disappointed at the lack of its presence. Especially when it was teased the year prior as well. I never actually told anyone on a stream what my hopes and dreams are for a future main series Fable game, so, you know, may as well make the video. Here we are, let's dive right in, shall we? I do want to see a different type of Albion this time around, and what I mean by this, I would genuinely love to see the ever-evolving country of Albion, but I think jumping right into like a steampunky version of Fable 4 would be kind of a mistake, as this new game is essentially reintroducing the franchise to a brand new audience after being dormant for so long. Which, if you're probably wondering, what, Kieran, why did you just mention steampunk there? Well, in Fable 3, it was kind of, you know, revolving around the industrial revolution of Albion, so it kind of makes sense for it just to keep to evolving from that point onwards. So that's what I kind of mean by that. So what I would like to see for the world is have it set between the time of like Fable 1 and 2, maybe so we won't have that industrialized world like we do see in Fable 3 and then onwards. Either that or have it set in a time shortly after Fable 3 where the land isn't really a kingdom anymore. That'd be quite cool, that'd be quite spicy, I must admit, I quite like the idea. Actually, a cool idea would be to have Albion in a state where it was kind of like during the times of the Old Kingdom, which was the kingdom that was founded long before the events of the very first game. So like Alpha Albion? Sort of, maybe, if that's what you want to call it, pre-Albion. So basically what happened to the Old Kingdom, for those of you who don't know the lore of Fable, was that the ruling monarchs of the Old Kingdom just all of a sudden vanished. And Albion descended into anarchy, which resulted in many individuals claiming their right to rule, and those people becoming tyrants, eventually leading to the construction of the Tattered Spire, which, if you haven't played Fable 2, this is a tower that grants the ruler a single, limitless wish, through the ultimate power of will. Back in the Old Kingdom, when this tower was used, it caused the destruction of Albion. So, I don't know, maybe it could be happening again, maybe like after the events of Fable 3, there's like a new sort of tyranny sort of leader maybe, and then he's constructing the spire, but then I feel like that would be a bit too similar to Fable 2 in a way, so I don't know. Possibly, it's an idea. I think what I do majorly want to see in Fable 4 in terms of the world and locations is the return of places like Bowerstone, so we can continue to see how it grows and changes and evolves throughout the games. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see like a full remake of the map and locations from previous games and all that. I do very much want to see brand new locations, but I feel like in Fable games, Bowerstone is just a pillar, you know? It's like you have to find some way of fitting into the game. It's been there since Fable 1. It's been evolving and changing all the way up to Fable 3, so it just kind of makes sense to have it in Fable 4. It wouldn't be right if you didn't have it in there, you know? In terms of the game's overall story, I would like it so it isn't like about a massive evil monarch, kind of like what I was mentioning there, and more as though the player's journey is to stop someone who has been corrupted over time and isn't necessarily truly evil themselves. Like, let me just pitch an idea for a wee second. Let me just suggest an idea for everyone to digest. Imagine the main villain of the game was once a hero turned anti-hero of sorts, sorta kinda thing, because someone in power did something to them that pushed them over the edge, and now that anti-hero will destroy everything in his wake in need for revenge. Then we will play as like a small time sort of character who was affected by this anti-hero's actions, so we grow up training and, you know, eventually become a hero, thinking that this guy is a big, horrible antagonist, but in fact he's just a guy who had just had one bad day. You could say this is technically Fable 3 played out with your big brother becoming evil and doing evil things, you know, because he thought it was the right thing to do to save everyone from the incoming darkness, which, you know, it kinda is, but not at the same time, because we won't be going around the country to rally support for you to be crowned king or queen or something. I think the whole monarchy thing should just be left in Fable 3 and not really continued, you know? But yes, on to more of the gameplay side of things. I was a big fan of just living out life between quests, so doing jobs like blacksmithing and being a bartender, buying and renting out houses, and even starting families. Yes, if you haven't played Fable, you can start a family, you can get a job, you can buy and rent out houses. That is something you can do in these games, and it's quite cool. Honestly, it's this side of Fable that I love, and in Fable 4, I just want to see every aspect of this expanded upon and improved. I know this sounds dumb, but I would love to do a simple thing like purchase a homestead out in the middle of nowhere and just customise it to my heart's content. That means fully customised rooms inside the house, Fallout 4 settlement style, and individually place objects to make it feel like a true player home. Then when you get a spouse, their personalities affect the look of the house as well. Like if they are down and depressing, you know, if you marry someone like that, then you get a gothic looking house, kind of like Monster, what was that movie, Monster House? Something like that. Or if they're happy and upbeat, then you'll get a very lively countryside home. This leads into another dream I had where you don't become a king or anything, but if you own enough houses in a town, you can become a mayor, and with that position, your residents can come up to you and ask you to take on town-related quests, which, whatever the outcome of that quest is, affects how the people of the town see you. So if you like turn into like this corrupt politician and all that, and you like support a mafia in the town, then you'll be spat on and all that walking down the street, you'll be disgraced, you'll be disowned. But if you're a very good mayor and you're good to the people and all that, then you'll be like praised, like people will get down on their knees and start fucking declaring fealty and all that to you, you know? Also, because Fable games is all about immersion and ambition as well, it'd be cool to see if you can actually somehow bankrupt the town so there would be like more beggars on the street and everything would just look run down because there isn't enough money to maintain everything. So doing all that sort of thing would be some sort of mini game that would be completely optional, but it would be fantastic to have. Speaking of immersion, actually, I've said before how I'm leaning more away from like completely massive open world games. I feel as though it would kind of make sense for the next Fable game to be entirely open world. What I mean by this is that removing loading screens between massive areas, which the previous games had. Having an open world reminiscent to a game like Breath of the Wild would be so cool, but I wouldn't like it to be massive for the sake of being massive, you know? Even if it was like an average sized map but filled to the brim with locations and content, I would much prefer that over a massive barren map, which I see many games doing nowadays. One could argue that Breath of the Wild was kind of like that, but it was just kind of like, the map was so big. There's a lot of emptiness in that map as well that I've noticed. It is Playground Games developing this after all, so the chance of this game being entirely open world like modern RPGs is very likely. Honestly, all I can really ask for Fable 4 is to be more immersive and more ambitious than ever before. That's why I love the previous games, because they were just packed with so much content and the games had so much heart and humour to them, which I hope Playground Games takes a note of and successfully implements into their interpretation of Fable. Also, it will be cool if they got like former Lionhead employees as some sort of like creative consultants on the game, because it's also very nice and respectful to have the original creators' input on the franchise. So yeah, so that is me guys, that was my hopes and dreams for a Fable 4, or just in general like a future Fable game. There was a pitch that a former Lionhead developer gave for a potential Fable 4 game back when they were a thing, which sounded amazing but unfortunately was turned down in favour of Fable Legends, which if you know what Fable Legends is, they made a very, very bad mistake. They just misjudged that completely. They went in favour of like a free-to-play fucking garbage of a game than an actual thing that will sell copies, you know? But yeah, what is your hopes and dreams for a potential Fable 4? Let me know down in the comments below, because I would love to hear your ideas, and to be fair, I might even bring up Fable 4 in the podcast. And by the way, if you don't know what the podcast is, the Mighty Canapple Show, that's a podcast I started up myself, which is the official Bundicot podcast for the channel, and you can also listen on SoundCloud as well. You can if you want to check that out, it's in the description below. I'm going to be talking about games, I'm going to be talking about life, I'm going to be having a bunch of my friends on, I'm going to be having Fallout modders on, I'm going to be having developers on at some point, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you wanna learn more about that, then go and check out the first ever episode, also known as episode 0, and yeah, go check it out. Special thanks to my brilliant patrons, Cat G, Proxy1, Devil, and TJ Monster for your continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much, I do really appreciate it. Yeah, that is me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed sitting here listening. It's quite late. This is me recording this a bit later in the night. I've also tried to take the way I kind of say things and the kind of way I read scripts and all that much more slowly, so more people can understand what I'm saying. Or I know sometimes I do get comments saying, by the way, I just do not understand you whatsoever, you speak too fast and all that. So I'm going to try and slow it down a wee bit, so a lot more people can understand me and I'm a lot more accessible to other people. Or you can just hit the subtitle button. I'm sure my videos have subtitles maybe, so you can, hit that and listen to the video that way if you want. So there is that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you again later, and hopefully Fable 4 is announced at Gamescom, maybe, possibly, I don't really know. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.